Hi all, Simone here. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Hope you can hear me kind of hanging out by the ocean here. And as always, I want to share some things with you that I've seen making a really big difference for my clients and help you shorten that learning curve just a little bit. I just got back from South Carolina. I had an amazing meeting with my mastermind and I got sick. And so not firing on all cylinders today here. And God, it would be so easy to just get suckered into, I just want to lay around and do nothing. And then I have people pinging me going, hey, we haven't heard from you. What's going on? My clients are asking, my assistant is bugging me because I'm not showing up the way that I want to show up. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about something that I think is super important, and it starts with me. It starts with you as the leader. It starts with the person who's responsible, right? And that is always right here. So it starts with you, and that is the culture of discipline. And it's funny when I talk about discipline, a lot of times people look at me funny and they go, that's really not the word we use around here, or we're startup, we don't really do discipline, we do everything is just doing, organically, or everybody just does what they do and everything is fine, we don't need that. And I think what it means, and I want to kind of make a clear definition here, make a distinction, is that it means being accountable. And it means being accountable no matter what. Now, does that mean you're going to do whatever you say all the time and no matter what? And it does not mean that. What it does mean is that you're going to do what you say, and if you can't do what you say, then you're going to bring that to the surface immediately. You're going to surface that, you're going to do something about it, you're going to approach the right people who are affected, and you're going to figure out what it means, how the impact, what the impact is, how other people have to respond because there's something that's going on, whether it's internal or external, that keep you from getting these things done. So that's what being accountable and this culture of discipline really means. Like, you make commitments, you stick to them, and if you can't for whatever reason, you surface that immediately and make sure that everybody else who's impacted by that has what they need. Now, once you have that culture of discipline, the next question is what's possible when I have that, right? Because you as the leader, as the CEO, you need to have that culture of discipline to really get things done in that optimal way possible. So what's possible from here? When you think about motivation, a lot of times people think they have to motivate their people. And you actually want to have motivated people instead of having to motivate them, right? So that also causes that you're in a space of being proactive and not reactive. So you're ahead of the game instead of behind. So you can actually make a difference instead of just feeling like you're fighting one fire after another and nothing ever gets done. And at the end of the day, you're wondering, what on earth even happened today, right? And that also means people do the things that they do, not because they have to, because they want to. And guess what happens when people do things that they actually want to do, right? They do them better, they do them faster, they drive bigger and better results. You actually get the outcome that you want, and people are actually happy because they feel good. So when you want to, that culture of discipline also drives a culture of happy people, not because you're actually making happy people, but because you're helping people be really productive. And when people are productive, they feel happy. So just want to make that distinction. So what does that mean for you? For you as the CEO, the leader, the fearless leader here, a lot less of your time is spent motivating people. You're not going to get into this icky micromanaging sort of situation that nobody loves. Nobody wants to be more micromanaged, and face it, nobody wants to micromanage, right? And then think about this, is instead of you driving everything, instead of you pushing everybody, it means everybody is actually taking this thing and moving it forward. So that means instead of just your brilliant mind on something, now you suddenly have like 25, 30, 50, 100 people solving for the same problem with all the different perspectives and different information expertise that they have, right? So suddenly you have so many more brilliant people on the same problem solving in a very different way. So suddenly you go from that chief firefighter and chief have your fingers in everything to being the CEO. And then you get to play at the right level. So what actually happens when you get to play at that CEO level, where all that you're doing is really making the connections, talking to the right people, going to the right events, driving the business forward, making that bigger picture even bigger, and sharing that with your people in a way that's meaningful and that actually gets them a whole other level of outcome, right? So think about that's what that means for you, that's what that got you. But what are you leaving behind? Well, I think anybody who's ever had a culture of not discipline, a culture of unengaged people, or a culture of micromanaged people knows that a lot of resistance goes away, right? So suddenly people are not working against you, they're actually working with you. So you're all on the same boat, rowing the right direction, the same direction at the same speed, in the same way and in the same power, right? So you're leaving behind resistance. The other thing you're leaving behind is mediocrity. Because when you are just solving, face it, even if you're amazing, and I'm sure you are, but you can't be good at everything, and that's why you hired all these other people, because they should be better at what they're doing than you ever would be, right? So if you hired right, you have those right people, when you finally engage them right, you leave behind mediocrity. And you also leave behind this pushing and pulling, where it feels like it's all on you. If you don't drive them, it doesn't happen. If you don't drive results, they don't come up. So there's a lot of relief in that and a lot of stress that falls by the wayside, because suddenly there's a whole team behind you, a whole team of support, a whole team that actually up-levels the company. And you'll never feel this thing again where you don't know if the right thing gets done at the right time by the right people in the right way. So this is kind of the thing that you want if you're really going for optimizing and scaling your business. That is something that needs to happen, because that's what gets you momentum, and you need that momentum to really get to that next level of business. So when you really want to pour the fuel on the fire, you can't afford not having this. And your business will simply implode without having that. So when I talk about that, a lot of times people go, okay, that sounds great, but how do I get there? And it's a simple method, but it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination, because you're really looking for providing very cohesive vision that gets your team in a very cohesive action. So that means you and your team have to be together, driving this together. So most of the time to get there, if you haven't had this, you kind of need this pattern interrupt that actually gets you to a different outcome. So a lot of times the same things that got you to where you are right now will not be the things that get you to that next level of business. So keep thinking differently. That's what got you here. Don't stop now. But if you don't want to reinvent the wheel, don't do this alone. And if you want to figure out how to do this in a better, faster way, and don't do this alone, like I said, go to bulletproofstartups.com and watch the great new training that we put up there for you, and we will wait for your call. Hope that you're having a fantastic Friday. We're almost at the weekend, so have a fantastic weekend, and I will talk to you soon.